Greetings, YouTube. A new study has been released that says that whites perceive themselves as suffering more discrimination in America than blacks. Now, before I go any further, I am aware that in the real world, there are white people that have suffered discrimination at the hands of minorities. Don't need the anecdotal evidence that I'm going to get in the comment section. I'm going to get it anyway, but I'm telling you, I understand this happens. But in America, in the event that there is a racially based form of discrimination, it is vastly more likely that the person suffering that discrimination is going to be a minority of the brown, black, or yellow variety, and the perpetrator of that discrimination is very likely going to be a white guy. That's a hard fact. It's ugly, it's unpleasant, but that's reality. What's interesting is that white Americans are perceiving themselves as suffering discrimination at the hands of blacks more than blacks do. Now, I think this is all related to privilege, which I've spoken about before. You see, in America, white people have been top dog since longer than there has been an America. And when you're top dog, and someone comes in and says, hey, you have to share your yard, top dogs don't much like that. And Americans don't much like the idea that they suddenly have to share the American pie. But in a diverse world, that's what's being asked of them. They're being told that everyone should be treated the same under the law, free of prejudice and discrimination. Either institutionalized discrimination, official discrimination, or unofficial, individual discrimination. And all of these forms of discrimination should be done away with so that everyone has a fair shake. Well, a lot of folks aren't comfortable with that. They've been top dog for so long that they perceive the idea of being told that they have to share as losing something. They're no longer quite as special if they have to share it with everyone around them. And they don't like that. They like the idea that they hold a special place in the sun and that their parents did and their children shall. That's never been true. They have never been special. They've just been able to perceive that because they held a lot of the economic power to do so. Well, that's changing over time, and laws are changing over time. Discrimination cases are coming up all the time in the court systems. Sometimes they're in favor of justice, sometimes they aren't. But the reality is that over time, the levels of free access to all things in America are going up. And a lot of white folks in America are starting to get nervous because they realize that they're going to have to share that American pie, whether they want to or not. And that fear is resolving itself as anxiety, and hence the study where the white people are perceiving themselves as being the victims of discrimination more than black people, except they aren't. Now I'm going to have people tell me in the comments that I'm wrong, that whites are horribly, horribly discriminated against in every way, shape, and form. And I'm going to call bull on that right now. It happens. I don't deny it happens. But in America, discrimination happens against minorities far more often than against white people. I realize that this is making Americans uncomfortable. I'm sorry it's making white America uncomfortable. I'm not sure how to convince America that diversity is a good thing. I'm at a loss. To me, it seems so incredibly blatantly obvious that it's like kind of trying to convince someone that they're breathing air. If they weren't, they'd fall down. Well, to me, diversity is that obvious. Diversity is good. To use a biological term, I believe that it helps create hybrid vigor. That a diverse population, a diverse culture, a diverse ethnic selection is going to be better for us in the long run. I am apparently in the minority. If anyone out there can help me understand how the best method of explaining this to white America is, I'm willing to listen.